Greetings and welcome to tonight's edition of the Grindhouse. Come here. With me is Jasmine, apparently for tonight's story. Tonight we look at... Hello, kitten. Tonight we look at one of the great. One of the ones that haven't really all together been mentioned all that much. Tonight we look at Grindhouse, the Robert Rodriguez-Quentin Tarantino duo of films. First, we look at Planet Terror. This is film number 1 in the Grindhouse, with Robert Rodriguez directing. And just before the film itself begins, we have, of course, the fake trailer for the movie Machete, which would soon become a real movie. Great film, by the way. Cheech Marin, of course, playing the Padre, Danny Trejo playing Machete. Of course, what the film didn't show was a certain main villain, which, in case anyone hasn't seen it, I don't want to give away that actor's name. But in any event, it's a decent action film that looks like it was done kind of like a Canon Films looking style type of movie. Anyway, on with the movie itself. Planet Terror, of course. Kind of a Dawn of the Dead zombie movie meets I don't know how to explain it. Probably the closest way to put it would be Dawn of the Dead meeting something like one of the 70s Grindhouse horror films, or maybe even a touch of, say, an apocalyptic type of setting. Maybe like The Day After, but nothing to do with nuclear, pretty much. So, but maybe that same feeling of a little bit bleakness, perhaps. In any event, a great film. Rose McGowan, of course, playing Cherry Darling, the go-go dancer, who ends up basically helping to save the planet because of the prosthetic in her leg being a machine gun. And of course, for those of you who have probably seen the posters before, I assume. I mean, there's a lot of them, pretty much. You can look up on the internet and find them. There's, Planet Terror posters. She's pretty much on a lot of them, if not all. And in any event, let's see. Basically, you have the zombies. Basically, the government turns. The government has this chemical known as Project Terra, known as D6? No, D2. I think it was D2. D2 that basically the government was going to use as experimental on a city, and of course it had some really bad effects to it, and the fact that the specimens got away. And the guy who was in Lost, Naveen Andrews, he plays a doctor known only as Abby. I don't really know his name character-wise in the film, but he gets a great part in that one, and he's sort of he's a military scientist, but he's also a businessman, so he's carries a jar full of nads, basically, which is a pretty funny scene when you stop and think about it. One of my favorite lines is their balls sweetheart line. That was pretty good. Let's see, Bruce Willis, of course, playing the military commander, and interestingly enough, he gets to be the one who was the one who killed Bin Laden in the film, which got a good crowd pop, basically. If you play the DVD, you can get a fan reaction setting on the DVD itself. In any event, great movie though. Yeah, it's a science fiction horror film, but it's more as bloody as it is. I would almost think it was kind of, they didn't go with the way of, the route of like a Rob Zombie bloody film, or a, Eli Roth, but it was still good, still satisfying, great film. The other film, of course, Tarantino's, uh, driving car slash, stalker, well, sort of a semi-cross between, I suppose, a slasher film and a race car film, or car chase film, or at least I think that's how he's described it before. That would be Death Proof. Kurt Russell plays, of course, Stuntman Mike, and Rose McGowan gets a part in it. In this one, she could have used the machine gun for the leg, but no, not the same character. And she's basically, I don't want to say an extra, but she pretty much is only in the first half of the film. In the second half of that same film, you've got Rosario Dawson and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Tracy Toms and Zoe Bell playing herself. Who, for those of you who don't know, Zoe Bell is a stunt woman who did stunts for, did all of Uma Thurman's stunts in the Kill Bill films. And she's actually done a few movies too. There's one on Netflix she did that was, I think it was called Rage. It's kind of a Fight Club type of movie, but it's set up in like a prison where all these women basically have to fight to the death to survive. And they're all held hostage by this one group of, like, criminal organization of some sort. It's not like a prison film, it's just the women are imprisoned. But in any event, that was a good film too. Kind of bleak, but still a good movie. The next one, the other part to Death Proof is, of course, you've got Kurt Russell as Stuntman Mike, and he's basically just killing women with his car. And he would basically just set it up so that they would be car accidents. And of course, the car itself is death proof for him because it's a stunt car. And he can just wreck it and then repair it. And then, like, after he recovers, repair the car, wait about maybe, 4 to 6 months. Technically, I think it was maybe a year, almost a year in passing of the two parts of the film. It's more or less a two-part film when you think about it, because you've got the first half of the first victims, and then you got the other set of victims who basically fight back. And basically, I don't want to give it away, but let's just say there's some great car chases in this film. There's also references to movies like Vanishing Point and Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, those type of movies. White Line Fever, I think, was one that got mentioned. But they also actually drive a 1970 Dodge Challenger, like Kowalski did in Vanishing Point. And I've already reviewed Vanishing Point once, which was a good film. I'll probably watch that again sometime soon, just for the heck of it. But in any event, The Grindhouse is a really decent movie. There is two more things I want to touch upon. One of them I didn't really get to show the fake trailers for the other half of the set, because on the Death Proof DVDs, the 3 fake trailers, Werewolf Women of the SS, Don't, and Thanksgiving, are not in it. And I am still waiting to see Werewolf Women of the SS. I'd love to see them make a movie, an actual movie out of that one, just for the cast list on that one is like phenomenal. But in any event, I don't know if it'll ever happen. The other part is that, and this is pretty much unrelated at the moment to the review itself, the other part is I will be setting up a new character, and this new character will be sometime this week, if possible. In any event, this has been The Grindhouse. And sometime within the next few days, I will be reviewing another film. But I also might be reviewing an entirely different genre. I don't know yet. And if I do, it's going to be with this new character that I want to make. So, for those of you who are watching, stay tuned. There will be more. Until then, fare thee well.